we are back. Thanks for clicking on the link. Welcome to Good Energy. Enjoy the content, and everyone have a blessed day. And we are back. Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to Good Energy. We are going to be covering the Miami Open. That's right, the round of 64. I will predict and preview all matches. But first, let's get into the big story. Ashleigh Barty calling it a career. And Iga Swiatek could not be happier. This is Iga. After hearing about the news of Ashleigh Barty retiring, she is all cheers. She is now the #1 ranked player. But Ashleigh Barty, what a career. Let's take a look at her career in a snapshot before we predict the Miami Open round of 64. Ashleigh Barty, the world's ranked #1, and she's been consistently ranked the world's #1 for the last couple of years for the most part. Only age 25, that's right. 2 single titles this year, over $4 million in prize money now after winning the Australian Open this year. 11-0 on the year and 15 single titles. Ashleigh Barty won the Australian Open this year, but she also won Wimbledon last year in 2021, and she was also a winner of the French Open. So she won 3 of the 4 Grand Slams. She did not win the US Open, making it as far as the round of 16, where we saw Shelby Rogers beat her. But nonetheless, 305 wins, 102 losses. She did not win all majors, not winning the US Open, but neither did Venus Williams. Venus Williams did not win the Australian Open or the French Open. So a lot of people forget, as great as Venus was, she did not win. She only won 2 of the 4 slams, but she is the most decorated gold medalist tennis player, male or female. But nonetheless, Ashleigh Barty is done. She retired, and I've said it a few times. Ashleigh Barty, Naomi Osaka, this newer generation of players, I'm sure they love the game, but if they could play it for free, I'm not sure if they would. Okay, there's a different type of passion with these newer players. They skip a lot of tournaments, and I don't know. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. The Miami Open, the top seeded players: Sabalenka, Swiatek, Kontaveit, Sakkari, Badosa, Pliskova, Muguruza, Jabbar, Collins is back. Ostapenko, Raducanu, Azarenka, Kerber, Golf, Svetlana, Pegula. They are all still in action. Sofia Kenin did withdraw. I had her losing anyway, first round. Bronzetti, lucky loser, and Caroline Garcia retired with a foot injury, and Zavenska, lower back pain. Round of 64. I did not cover the previous round. Wasn't that interesting. Let's get right into it. Not in any order, but let's go down the list. Well, let's do a quick recap of today's matches. So Jill Teichmann eliminated by Alison Riss. This was a matchup that I had going over. It sure enough went over, and this is a matchup that I had Alison Riss winning. Teichmann, she's up and down. Alison Riss, the more consistent player. Bouzkova is back after withdrawing from the Indian Wells. She's going to have a really good matchup coming up. I will be predicting that shortly. Bouzkova, the defensive player, a lot better than her record suggests, so watch out for her. Osaka looked really good against Sharma today. Osaka, she looks like she's lost 10 pounds in the last week and a half or so. She looks really good moving around. She's going to have a great matchup coming up with Angelique Kerber. I will be predicting that. Stay tuned. The round of 64 predictions coming up shortly. Bronzetti, the upset over Tomljanovic. Listen, guys, if you follow the channel, you know I say all the time Tomljanovic can be beat, and she makes a ton of mistakes, and she lost every statistical category. First serve, return serve. She loaded up on errors. Typical 3-set match full of mistakes. Tomljanovic is out. Sastovik, she's going to have a great match coming up. I will be predicting that. Wang was a tough match for her. This is a match that Wang took to a tiebreak in the first set, but nonetheless, Sasnovich just needed one break to get past Wang. And the reality here is Sasnovich much better than her record. Watch out. Burel, she got the win over Frech, and this is a match that a lot of people thought Frech would win. Burel looked really good in the Indian Open, and this is a match I had Burel advancing. It only gets tougher for Burel. Muchova is back. Tough match over Martinkova. Muchova has probably the best headbands in the sport, aside from maybe Buskova or someone like that. But nonetheless, Muchova is back from injury, and if you get a chance, watch some of her personal videos. She's got a pretty nice story, and hey, she's back. Welcome back, Muchova, but it only gets tough. I'll be predicting her match shortly. And Sloane Stephens, good win over Pivardi. She looked really shaky early, but nonetheless, Sloane did pull it together. She came back from a break early in the first set, and she ended up still in the first set, and all it took was one break in the second set to close her out 6-3. Alright guys, Miami Open, the round of 64. This is a WTA 1000 event. $1 million up for grabs, 1,000 points up for grabs. Emma Raducanu versus Katerina Siniakova. This is a matchup here that Raducanu should win as long as she's healthy, and you know, she is in form. We saw her with a pretty decent run at the Indian Wells before losing to Petra Martic. Petra Martic is a little bit more fit and mobile than Siniakova. Siniakova does play good coming to the net, but doesn't have the strongest baseline game. I think Emma Raducanu's backhand will keep Siniakova at bay. Raducanu will win. Seville versus Halep. Simona Halep looked really good in the Indian Wells before being taken out by the best player in the world right now. Let's be honest, Iga Swiatek. This is a matchup here that Halep, she should have too much for Seville. Seville just having that injury against Ons Jabeur, the Indian Wells last week. I don't think it's going to be enough. So Simona Halep's playing at her best. So this is a matchup Simona Halep will win. And as we move on, the Miami Open round of 64 preview and prediction. Sorobers Turmo facing Kai Kanepi. Kai Kanepi, she has the power, but I say all the time, if you can drag her into 3 sets or long rallies, she will gas. Remember, she's an older woman on tour here. Okay, she doesn't have the stamina as these younger players, and we saw that clearly with Dart taking her out, the Indian Wells. I have Turmo as the underdog. She's a 2-1 underdog. I have her winning this match outright. Okay, Kai Kanepi has power, but Turmo has the athletic ability. Linette versus Jabeur. This is a match. Linette, she had a nice test in the round of 128, but the reality here is this is a matchup that Jabeur should win, but I think it's going to go 3 sets. I like the over in that matchup. And here we have Belinda Bencic, Tokyo's 2021 gold medal winner, taking on Kasuk, one of the teenagers on tour that's just causing havoc. This is going to be a tough matchup. Belinda Bencic is just a slight favorite. The experts think that Kasuk has a chance to beat Bencic. And the reality here is, I think so. Belinda Bencic hasn't necessarily looked good this year, and she hasn't really been active. Kasuk, the last 6 months has just been playing better than Bencic, even with the layoff. If you factor in November and December, the reality here is this is a matchup that I think Kasuk can win. I like the over in this matchup. Heather Watson versus Svetlana. This Heather Watson, again, she's been playing a lot of tennis lately, but if you follow the channel, I tell you all the time, I think Heather Watson plays down to her competition, and the reality here is she's playing someone that's great defensively but hasn't really looked to be in good form. This is a matchup where Heather Watson's in form, she's fit, but again, this could go either way. I do think that Svetlana should win. However, I like this matchup to go over because Svetlana is not in her best shape. Heather Watson's in a little bit better form, but Heather Watson makes a lot of mistakes, and being that Svetlana's not in her best form, I like this match to go over. Jessica Pegula versus Sloane Stevens. Sloane, if you follow the channel, I did much more. This is a quick video tonight, guys, because I do have to get back to work. But nonetheless, if you follow the channel, I've did much more in-depth videos on Sloane Stevens, and it seems like she's completely changed her game. Sloane Stevens is now a rally player. She is not taking the chances like she used to. She's not showing her strong forehand or backhand. Just look at her game at the US Open and look at every tournament she's played this year. Completely different style, even over her past championships and past wins and body of work. Sloane Stevens is now a rally player. She's keeping the ball in play, and she's forcing her opponent to make mistakes. She's not taking the chances. She's not going for the winners. She's not hitting the backhand down the line. This is the match where if she's showing that she's in fit, she looks really good, she's in shape. Jessica Pegula just hasn't looked good so far this year. I like Sloane Stevens on the upset, and this is a matchup that Pegula might even quit or retire. Rybakina versus Ruse. Ruse doesn't have the power to make Rybakina uncomfortable, so I like Rybakina to just dominate with her aces and her forehand, and Rybakina will advance. All right, Muguruza versus Lauren Davis. This is a matchup. Lauren Davis, the matchmakers they're smart at what they do. Muguruza struggles against the shorter players with the shorter center of gravity that can run vertical, but Lauren Davis hasn't really looked good lately. Lauren Davis she's a mid-level player. She kind of is what she is at this point. She's shown that she can make it out of the first and second round of these majors, but that's going to be about it. She struggles in the round of 64, and this is a matchup that Muguruza should win. Lauren Davis may come out strong, but she's a front runner. Within the first 3 to 4 games, she'll see her best body of work, and then she'll fade. I do like Muguruza to win, and I would take this to be a win in straight sets. This match should go under. The first set should be the most competitive, but Muguruza will take over. Burel versus Kvitova. Kvitova, I don't know if she's really healthy. Now, if you watch her at the Indian Wells with the Sasovic match, she seemed a little overweight. She seemed stressed. But then again, the weather conditions at the Indian Wells in the desert were very windy, very uncomfortable. Miami, you know, aside from the volatile rain that can happen, it's a little more comfortable. And the reality here is this is a match Kvitova should win. However, she starts slow. So Burel could possibly take this to go over, but I do like Kvitova to win. As long as she's not making unforced errors, her serve, this is a match that I would be pretty comfortable in taking Kvitova to win. Her backhand and her forehand is going to be too much with her serve. And although I thought she was a little heavy, she's thin, but compared to her playing weight, I thought she was a little heavier than normal. This is a matchup that I should win, and this is one of the locks I like on the day. So yes, Kvitova to win, and that's a lock. It's a very reasonable price. Get your popcorn. It's going to be a great match. Madison Keys versus Kalina, and the reality here is Sofia Kenin was supposed to face Kalina in the first round, and the reality here is I had Kalina beating Sofia Kenin, and the reality here is I'm going to take Kalina to defeat Madison Keys, and that's going to be the upset. Madison Keys, it's frustrating sometimes. She's one of my favorite players, but the reality here is I think Kalina's playing very well, and if Kalina does not win outright, I would take her on the spread. So the official prediction, take Kalina on the spread. She's going to be getting 4.5 games. And Haddad Maia versus Sakkari. Sakkari completely embarrassed against Swiatek. However, weather played a lot of factor in that. Swiatek's game plan was to just keep the ball in play and not make mistakes. Sakkari was a little more aggressive. She made the mistakes. She's going to take that frustration out on Haddad Maia. Sakkari to advance. The teen phenom, Corey Gauff versus Wang. This is a matchup I don't think is going to be that easy for Gauff. I do think Gauff will win, but I can see Wang frustrating golf. Wang's very experienced. She has great variety and she loves to mix it up. That could frustrate golf. As you see, when golf plays and more experienced players, you can see her inexperience start to show, which is why I recommend her coaches put her in some of these. The 1,000 events she has to attend, but she doesn't have to take the route of the tour where all of the top 10 is at. I mean, hey, go to Mexico, win a couple titles, and get some more experience under your belt instead of losing in the round of 32 against all these top players. But nonetheless, golf is the future of tennis. I do think she advances here, but that can be an over matchup. Sersu, this is a matchup here where I like it to go over, and I think possibly that Zhang could win a set, so take Zhang plus 1.5 set and the over. Elise Mertens, and normally the first couple rounds she's gonna have the easier matchup because she's depending on how well the top 10 and 15 is doing. Elise Mertens is gonna be somewhere around the 20th seed in these tournaments, and she's just going to have favorable matchups. So Elise Mertens, the first couple of rounds is always a person you want to pick because she's going to win. She struggles in the 32 and the 16 rounds, so Elise Mertens will advance. Alexandrova versus Azarenka. Alexandrova, there's a lot going on with her country. There's a lot going on with her. She hasn't looked good this year, but she does have power. I think Azarenka has too much experience and skill. I do like Azarenka to win, and I do like Azarenka to just beat her by at least 4 games, 6-4, 6-4 at least at minimum. So there's a couple matches that I really like. I like Kvitova to win, and I like Kontaveit versus Lee. She's a 3-1 favorite, but I mean, that's, if there's any time there's free money on the table, you gotta take it. Kontaveit facing Lee. Lee's a good upcoming player. Kontaveit's going to be too much for her, and this is a great spot where Kontaveit just coming off of a tough loss at the Indian Wells. You're just getting her at a good rate. I like Kontaveit to win. Lee had an exhausting match in the previous round and much lower level competition, so Kontaveit is my pick to win, and Kontaveit will win at least 6-4, 6-4 in each set. So take Kontaveit to win that matchup in straight sets. Riss versus Elise Cornet. I have Alison Riss upsetting Elise Cornet. That's going to be the upset of the day, so take that one. Cornet is just, after the Australian Open, she just seems exhausted. And I think Alison Riss, although Riss does make a lot of mistakes, I think she's just playing better tennis right now. And as we keep it moving, Camila Giorgi versus Bronzetti. Bronzetti getting the biggest win of her career, defeating Asa Tomljanovic. That's the first win inside of the top 50. This is a matchup here that could potentially go 3 sets. The fellow countrywoman, Camila Giorgi, is a risk taker, high risk, high reward. She goes for the backhands down the line, the forehands cross court. She doesn't want long rallies. Bronzetti's a much more composed player. Although Camila Giorgi is the more athletic, the more experienced player, I like this match to go over, and this could potentially be an upset. If Bronzetti plays safe, she could win. Pliskova over Kalinskaya, that's the lock of the day. Pliskova's serve is going to be a little bit too much here. Paula Badosa versus Bouzkova. Bouzkova is a defensive player. If she plays safe, then this match will go over. I do think that Bouzkova does have the defensive ability to upset a Paula Badosa, but I do like the match to go over. Putintseva versus Vondrousova. Vondrousova, if she plays safe tennis like she did at the Indian Wells, and in particular Kudermetova, then that alone will beat Putintseva. So I like Vondrousova, the 2-1 favorite, to play safe tennis and get the win. Now let's get your popcorn, guys. Guys and gals, get your popcorn. Leylah Fernandez versus Muchova. Muchova is back with the fresh headbands, and she looks really, really good. She looked pretty good in her previous round, and this is a matchup that Muchova, she does start slow, and Leylah Fernandez does start slow. So I do see this matchup going over. I think Leylah Fernandez will pull out a squeaker. However, Muchova has been the much more consistent player, and she does have a lot of value here. So you can take Muchova to at least win one set or the over. Osaka versus Angelique Kerber. Osaka looked really good in the previous round, and the reality here is this is a matchup that I'm going to take to go over. I can see Osaka losing the first set. Kerber has had the better form all year long, and I could see Osaka winning the second set. This is a matchup that I have going over 2.5 sets. Who could win? Kerber could very easily beat Osaka. I like the over 2.5 sets. That's my lock there. Kudermetova versus Gaufi. Kudermetova looked really good as long as she plays her safe tennis. She's not even going to have to take a lot of risks here. Gaufi will beat herself, so Kudermetova to advance. Rogers versus Ostapenko. Ostapenko looked really, really good early in the season. Rogers got a really, really good win, and the reality here is, that win over Clara Tauson is a good win. Ostapenko's identically the same type of player. I have Shelby Rogers covering the spread on that match. Danielle Collins versus Bandar. Danielle Collins is back. She might be a little rusty, so I take the first set to go over. I take the first set to go over 9.5 games. Get Danielle Collins to get the break there, and take the first set to go over 9.5 games. Danielle Collins will win. The next matchup is going to be a barn burner, Zvonareva versus Zidansek, and the reality here is this is a matchup that's most likely going to go over 21 games. So take the over in that matchup. But I can see Zvonareva upsetting Zidansek. I can see an upset there. Both ladies are fairly equal. Over could be an upset. And Sabalenka, yes, Sabalenka is back. How will she look after that huge upset loss to Jasmine Poliani? Well, I mean, the matchmakers they're good at what they do, and they gave her Big U, and Big U's been playing very, very good tennis, but she doesn't have the defense or the athletic ability to keep up with Sabalenka. Jasmine Poliani is very active, and if you follow the channel, I had her winning her championship over Allison Riss last November. I called that match for her to win that. Jasmine Poliani is very active. She's a good clay player. She's a good hardcourt player. She's short. She's fast. She's athletic. Big U is not that. Although she's playing well, Sabalenka to advance. And a matchup that is going to be a coin toss. Sasnovic versus Kataskina. Now, this is a matchup that the reality here is I would probably take the over. I could see this being a 7-5, 7-6 type of matchup. I could even see it going 3 sets, but I would take the over 21 games in this matchup. Sasnovic does not. She has pretty good defense. She transitions from defense to offense pretty well. She's fit, she's athletic, she's a smart player, she's an experienced player. She's much better than her ranking. And I think you're going to see Sasnovic jump the ranks this year back to where I think Sasnovic she should be inside the top 30 to 40 players in the world. And I think you're going to see that at the end of the year. She's playing good. She's putting in a lot of work. Kataskina is there already. She's fit. She's athletic. But I don't think she's been really healthy this year. So I do like this match to go over. I would lean for Sasnovic to possibly get the upset as well. But I do like the over as the best play. But that will conclude the preview and prediction for the round of 64 at the Miami Open. Stay tuned. I will also go over the round of 32, and I'll be breaking it down round by round. It's a lot easier to follow my videos that way, but please like, subscribe, and smash the comment button. Quick recap though, at the Indian Wells, Iga Swiatek, now the world ranked #1 with Ashleigh Barty retiring. Will Sakkari get it together? Seems like she can't get over the hump. And, look at that image there with her head down. Pick your head up, Sakkari. You are a great competitor. And Iga Swiatek, she's really coming into her own. and she's really blossoming as a beautiful woman. And the reality here is, I tell you guys all the time, Iga is a big woman, and people don't notice it until she stands next to these players. They think she's weak, and no, Iga's strong, and she can out-hit these players too. And she's going to win a lot more tournaments this year. As we take a look at the men's side though, Rafael Nadal, did anyone watch this matchup? Taylor Fritz now inside the top 10, the men's. Taylor Fritz beat Rafael Nadal. Can you believe this? Unbelievable. This was a very weird matchup. I'm not sure if anyone watched this match in full, but Nadal came out with his slowest serve that we've seen in like history. So his serve was 92 miles an hour, 15 miles per hour lower than his average. His back was hurting. We saw him popping aspirin, holding his shoulder. This was a very strange matchup, and the reality here is right from the start, Taylor Fritz, I follow his game, and look guys, if you follow my Patreon, I told you guys to take Iga Swiatek to win it and take Nadal to win it. It was a hedge though, because Iga Swiatek winning it made it a plus situation for you in any event, but nonetheless, this was a matchup I said if you did previously take my predictions, then you could take Taylor Fritz as a 4-1 underdog and win big either way. But the reality here is this match was just strange from the start, and Taylor Fritz, who has a really good serve, his serve wasn't really on, but it seems like once the ball's in play, he lives and dies with his backhand. And it seems like his backhand was just beating Nadal. Nadal had several situations to break where he was up like 40-15, and Fritz came back every time. And there you have it. Taylor Fritz is the Indian Wells 2022 Paribas Open champion, and look at Nadal. He looks horrible. I'm not sure if he had a headache or if he was tired, but Nadal looked old. And if he's going to play that way the rest of this year, then watch out. But Americans men's tennis is back. Taylor Fritz is now inside the top 10. Congratulations. But we're going to end this video with Ashleigh Barty. Look, 3-time slam winner. She is a Hall of Famer, 15 singles titles. If Elina Svitolina can get a couple slams, her career will be amazing, especially winning the WTA finals. But nonetheless, Ashleigh Barty, congratulations on a great career. She's young. She's only like 25. Can you imagine if Corey Goff, some of these other ladies get like 3 slams by 25? But Ashleigh Barty is young. We saw Serena Williams dominate her early in her career. She practiced, she worked hard, and now she's going to retire on top. Ashleigh Barty, thanks for the memories, and just thanks for the great matches. She says she's going to do great things for people in the next phase of her life, and I'm excited for her. And thanks again, Ashleigh Barty. This is good energy, guys. I need you to like this video. Please help push it through the algorithm. Please comment below. Tell me who you like. Ask me questions if you want to talk tennis. That's what the comments are for. Thank you guys. If you've listened this far, I appreciate it. Have a blessed night, and I'll see you in a couple days.